We on? I see Facebook Live.
It's giving me circles, but it's Red October.
Red October.
Just
That's
giving
the
me
best
like circles.
Sayburn video. That's the best Sayburn video since Avalon. That thing had me dying.
Yeah, we're on late tonight, boy.
Yeah, man. I hope we get some people on here. We got the Phillies game on. Do you have the Phillies game on? I have it like behind you. I'm looking at you, and then behind you is the Phillies.
No, I don't. I have faith in them now that they're winning. I didn't after my fiasco of a day today, but they're winning. But I'm gonna try and keep it timely and not spoil it for people that listen later or any clips that I do. But the Phillies will advance. We are recording this Wednesday night, so for some reason they blow it, they'll get it in the final game. They'll definitely advance. A huge article came out about how, for the business of the MLB, how much the Phillies catapulted them last year. And there's nothing like it.
Have you
Nothing like
taken
Red October.
Have you taken a minute and taken an actual look at the postseason, like the bracket of the teams that are on here? Like the AL, it's Toronto, the Twins, Houston, Texas Rangers, Tampa Bay Rays, and the Orioles. Like, no, dude, and then you look at Arizona Diamondbacks aren't drawing anybody. Milwaukee's are it, I guess. Miami's getting wiped out. We got to get through LA and the Braves. And dude, this is the year. This is the year for the Phillies to win it all. The team is very good. The whole thing is wide open.
Ugh. You can probably hear my son in the background.
Yeah, I hear my nephew. What's
Mickey!
up, nephew?
So we tried to do a thing.
All right, I gotta finish my point. Go ahead.
Go for it.
No, I just wanted to finish my point that I was in the middle of, which is that the World Series is ripe for the taking, and nobody except for Philadelphia is making a big enough deal about our home field advantage. Look at the teams. I just rattled off a bunch of teams. I don't know if you heard. None of those teams have anything even remotely close. There's no Boston. There's no Yankees. Dude, it's Red October.
Yeah, we're the only Northeast market left. The last Yankees game of the year was completely empty. The Mets fired their manager. Boston hasn't been good for a while. Tampa was like undefeated for the first remember the Tampa Rays, like the first week of the season they were like undefeated. They were like 12-0 or something. They just got bounced.
Mm-hmm.
They just got swept.
Yeah.
They got swept. But there's nothing like it. It's good for the business of sports. And I enjoyed the first game. I'm going to watch the rest of the second game after this. But, I mean, LA and the Braves are going to be tough. I hope the Phillies keep pounding runs and give Aaron Nola run support. I'm kind of an Aaron Nola hater. Sometimes he's like lethargic, and like although he'll go like 7 innings and allow like 2 or 3 runs, his body language I feel like rubs off on the team, and the team doesn't give him run support, and it's just this weird like Aaron Nola-ism that I have. It's kind of like last night, like they were dialed in. Last night they were dialed in. Wheeler was dialed in.
Yeah, I think the crowd will help overcome that. The juice that the team needs will come from the crowd, and that will sincerely help Aaron Nola. And if they already have runs up on the board right now. If they just keep that run support going, Aaron Nola can kind of relax a little bit and settle in. This could be a perfect tune-up series. I don't want to get too high that we're going to easily just beat these guys, but I mean, I don't see it. When I saw what you're going to see it tomorrow, the 90-mile-an-hour rocket Trey Turner hit off their pitcher, and their pitcher like threw his glove on the ground, and then their best base stealer got picked off. He got on, and they were probably going to steal him, and they picked him off. I mean, that just takes. If you have any wind in your sails, you're Miami. It's gone, and now the fans are all over them.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
and the Phillies defense was great in the first game. And they keep playing Pache and left because they're facing left-handed pitchers. So Marsh hasn't even gone yet or got going yet. Even though he came in the game, everybody got hit.
Pache is a hit and a scored run.
He's great. He's got an RBI in the first game
good.
too. He's good.
He's solid.
He's good.
So your day is your crazy day podcast material, or is it? Are you not allowed to talk about it?
No, it is. So for the first time, I'm gonna get in more trouble with work, but I'm gonna clip this and post this because we've worked in the service business our whole life. This is a great timely thing that will live on the podcast forever. We work in the service business our whole life. For the first time, we tried to go. Me and Alex go on a date, and it's Atlantic City Restaurant Week. And her mom lives in Longport. So on the way driving down beach, we dropped Nikki off with grandma, with Mimi.
Wow, that's big. That's big.
First time ever. Super excited about it. I do promotions for the AC Restaurant Week. It's the Atlantic City redevelopment, like the Do AC, the tourism dollars that they use to bring people down here. So they actually give out passes. So Restaurant Week is cheap to begin with. It's like $40 a person or $50 a person. You get like appetizer, dinner, dessert, the whole thing.
Oh, Real Muto just hit a dinger. Keep going. Rocket moonshot.
Red October. Thank God. Real Muto has got to get going.
Just a rocket.
Nice. No, I have it on the background. So okay. Atlantic City Restaurant Week, it's your standard like price fixed tasting menu thing. So it's it's $40 or $50 a person. You get appetizer, dinner, dessert, blah blah blah. So for two people, it's like $100. It's pretty cheap to go to like a fancy pants place and try all their stuff. So, but I had passes. So each pass was good for a person. So really all you had to pay for was tip and like drink.
And by the way, for the people's background on me, I have double-digit years experience in the service industry as a waiter, a bartender, and I've worked in Atlantic City as a bartender for one of the casinos summers and part-time throughout the year for 10 years throughout my teaching career. So Phil and I are very versed in the service business.
So part of this is my fault, but the customer's always right. So I'll get to it, and I'll see what people think. I'll see if people are going to side with me or side with the restaurant. So restaurants.
I'm very intrigued.
Restaurant's brand new. It's called. I'm going to call them out too. It's called Super Frico. It's a psychedelic American/Italian restaurant and cocktail bar. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like 70s out. And then in another room on the other side, they do shows every night. So they do like a Cirque du Soleil type show in this other room called The Hook. So the restaurant's called Super Frico, and you may see billboards for The Hook. And The Hook is like a show. You can just go to the show, or you can eat a dinner, and then after you're done dinner, you can go into the show. So I have these 2 passes for Restaurant Week, so I don't have to pay. You can go to any of the restaurants on the participating list. So any of the casino restaurants, there's a massive list of places to pick from. But this is like a new place. We wanted to go, and it was a weeknight, so it was kind of slow. So we go there. They're on the list for Restaurant Week. We order everything. I go to pay. I get the bill. I give them the 2 passes and my credit card for the drinks, because the passes just cover like your dinner. So the the dinner comes with appetizer, dinner, dessert. So for my
Mhm.
drinks and my tip, I gave them like my card and the 2 passes. So it was like 2 gift cards and my credit card. I put it. They come over, they go, we're like a new restaurant, we don't accept gift cards. I was like, they're like, we don't have the thing to like swipe, like we can't swipe your gift cards. And I was like, oh well, if you read the back of it, like you can't even swipe this. Like if you read the back of it, it's for any restaurants that, like I work for the radio, it's for any restaurant that participates in Restaurant Week. And you just keep these and then you turn them into the redevelopment league, redevelopment thing, and then that's how like the restaurant gets paid or gets their money back. Actually,
Right. So the restaurant doesn't take an L on this transaction. The restaurant
they get their
gets
money
made
back
whole
via
after
the
that.
government from the tourism dollars, and they actually don't get the meal money back. They actually get more than my meal back just for bringing tourism down. Like the restaurant that collects the most passes gets like all kinds of stuff. They like legit had no idea that this was a thing. They wouldn't take my passes. We don't take gift cards. They're fighting me. I'm showing them the list of participating restaurants. It's in a casino where definitely people are using comp dollars and all kinds of things, and they can easily just
Right.
wipe out my check. I didn't want to like get embarrassing like in the middle of this place. Like I'm with my wife, like first dinner out
Oh
since
yeah.
we had the baby. So I just had to eat crow and pay, and I've got to circle back on it tomorrow.
Wow. Yeah. So I would say
I would have, if I would have paid, I would have not gone there. One, I would have not ordered off their prefix menu. The food was fucking horrible. Pardon my French. Alex ordered Aperol spritz. They gave her Aperol with club soda. The food was terrible. The whole meal was gross too. So.
So that didn't make matters much better. And usually that's how it goes. When it rains, it pours. Yeah, I don't know. Fault. One of those situations where there's a tad of fault all the way around. They should have probably let it slide. Whoever's in charge of educating the restaurants on the rules in terms of Restaurant Week has a little bit of fault. You have zero fault as far as my eyes are concerned.
I should have asked when I walked in, like, "Hey, do you accept these?" or like whatever. But they're on the list.
That could be like your only fault. Just be like, hey, just like at the beginning of your meal, you just say like, hey, I got these 2 passes from Restaurant Week. I just want to give you the heads up. Like, if it was me personally, like I because I've been a waiter for so long, I always like if I have gift cards, I'll tell the waiter, I'll be like, hey, by the way, I'm paying with a gift card. Don't worry, I'll hook you up. Like I'll take care of I'll give you a good tip. All that.
And they were just like weird. The waiter was weird.
That's like 0% of fault.
It was weird. It's weird.
Yeah, that's a shame.
And it was fun, and the vibe was fun, and like maybe just like what we got was bad, and I would have went there with a big group. It would have been fun, and there's like a show afterwards. But now they're just like dead to me. Like I'm never gonna go.
Yeah, you're dead.
They don't know I work for like the radio station that was like promoting them. They don't know that. I was trying to explain to them what was going on, and they just were like cutting me off. They were like, "Oh, that's they were treating it like I made them like in my house, like counterfeit like Monopoly money." They were like, "Oh, that's like a really good idea." Like, ha ha ha. I was like, "No, like this is like a thing."
Was this the waiter? Was this the waiter or like the owner? Like
the
manager?
Waiter took it and was like, "We don't take gift cards." I was like, "Oh, it's not a gift card. It's like it's just all it's gonna do is cancel out like our 2 prefix things, and then like anything additional that we ordered, like our drinks or like any additional like apps or food or dessert stuff, like I was gonna pay for that like separately plus the tip. So like all it wipes out is the 2 like $40 like prefix things. We still had like a bar tab and like other stuff on there. Like we ordered like an extra salad.
So here's a good question: is tonight night 1 of Restaurant Week?
No, so she was like, "Oh, well, I guess you can just go somewhere else and use this." Like, it literally ends tomorrow, and we went through so much to get a sitter and like the whole thing. Like, it was Sunday to like tomorrow. It was like Sunday through Thursday.
So if it's nobody else came to this place with those passes,
there's 100 places to pick from on the list.
Right, but you'd think in the scheme of it, like 1 or 2 people would have gone to, especially a new and upcoming kind of place like that.
People have gone to use the Restaurant Week. People have gone there to go there and try it and do the price fixed menu. But people like the passes get given out to like media people and like news people and like.
I have passes. Somebody gave us passes. We just haven't figured it out, and I guess since it ends tomorrow, probably won't figure it out.
They're good for 2 years, so I guess I could try again next year. But I'm gonna
Right.
call and see if I can get like a chargeback, so or just make them aware. Like I just wanted to educate them, and they wouldn't even like hear me out. Like, hey, like this is the website. Like you're on the list of participants. Like it's gonna happen again. I'm cool with it because I work in the
Yeah.
biz, but like you guys are idiots. And how easy is it for them to just knock off like $50 off my
Yeah.
bill? Just send me home happy.
Well, listen.
And then
At the
they
end of the
knew
day,
afterwards.
yeah,
I was walking out and they didn't even say bye or acknowledge me, and they were powwowing in a circle. So they knew they screwed up.
yeah. Well, listen. If you put on, as long as you put on your credit card, it's a simple charge reverse that the manager would probably figure out and all that. But so I wouldn't let it ruin your night. I think the fact, I think it's just, and it's always like that. Like it would have been, it would have been different if you were like, well, but the food was amazing. But of course, it's always like the food's bad and the service is weird and all
It
that. When
was
it
weird.
rains, it pours.
It
Yeah,
was
when it rains,
weird,
it pours.
dude. It was weird. The server like gave us a tour, and there's like different themed rooms. And the one room was like the dressing room, and there was like pictures of like kind of like half nudie girls. And the guy was like, "You like titties, man?" And he was like showing me like pictures.
What
Like
the heck?
what?
What a weird place.
That was a weird, dude. So,
What
they're
a
trying to be
weird
like
place.
psychedelic, like 70s, but it was weird. It was weird.
So what
But
did you order? Like, what was your food item?
the prefix menu was like each just got one app, so the apps were just like pretty basic. Like it was like little like cocktail meatballs and like calamari, like whatever. And then the dinners were like
Right.
chicken parm, like another pasta dish, and like this like pizza thing,
Mm,
and then like dessert.
strange.
It was it
Strange,
was
strange, strange.
strange. It was kind of cool, but it was weird. But anyway, took an L
Birds.
there.
We gotta talk about the birds.
The Redskins,
Bro, I
that was
gotta
the
ask you,
worst fans in the stadium. Worst Eagles fans ever. They were fighting each other. They act like they never been to a game before.
Eagles fans were weird that day. I gotta ask you about the tush push though. I I am really now on the fence. I listened to Ike is like anti tush push and had like this very good like rationale. Actually, I shouldn't have told you that. I should have asked you your stance on the tush push. Are you team like we're just executing it better than everybody else, or are you team it's not really football, it's rugby?
No, the sneak play is fine. The stuff that I don't like is um
It's not a
that
sneak.
Landon
What the Eagles are
Dickerson
doing
is
is not a sneak.
because they're pushing the guy. But
They're
if
pushing.
Hurts just snuck it without somebody behind them, don't the if he is just sneaking without a running back or somebody behind him, and there's a pile up, don't the linemen always push them even on a regular sneak before they
Yeah.
blow it?
So apparently there was a rule change some amount of years back where you're allowed to sort of like push somebody along, and then that sort of now applies to this.
Yeah,
But
the part that bugs it to me is they're trying to find flaws in the way Eagles do it. They're saying they reported to the league that Landon Dickerson lines up in the neutral zone, and then the Redskins guy had his hand under the ball during every snap. I don't know if you caught that. Daron Payne had his hand like underneath the ball like every time they ran it, and it's just getting
mm,
weird. And then other teams are doing it and failing. Like they're picking on our
yeah,
execution of it.
that's the big thing for me. The fact that's the big thing for me that's still keeping me okay with it is the fact that I watched the Giants run it horrifically. I
No,
forget
other
who
teams
else
can't run it.
ran
It's
it, but
our personnel. You have a quarterback that squats 600 pounds. You have like Goddard or a back or like a AJ Brown, giant guy playing like a wing, like tight end position. You have giant bodies and the best O line in football. Our
no
play.
doubt.
It's part of our playbook. Stop it.
Amen.
It's silly. Or stop us on first, second, and third down, so it's not 4th and inches. Because our whole
Right on.
offense revolves around it. It's 3rd and 7. They're doing a 6-yard swing pass or a 6-yard in route, just so they can get to 4th and 1. So the whole offense is if you remove it stops what you're doing on first, second, and third down because they're literally on 3rd and 8 they're running 7-yard routes, and on 3rd and 6 they're running 5-yard routes, and they're doing everything they can to get to that one. Weird.
Yeah. It was just interesting to me that Ike was like just so anti it.
They need to.
Yeah.
They need to start.
It's that like it's ugly
They need
looking.
to start
It doesn't
finding.
look right. Doesn't look like football. It just looks weird. It looks like a rugby scrum is what it looks
Especially
like.
early in the year.
That's like the main argument.
Especially early in the year, they need to start moving away from it because it's going to get taken away at some point. And then,
yeah,
and
I
then
also really hated. Go ahead.
No, it's just going to get taken away from them at some point. And that, like I said, it's not only just that one specific play. It's actually factoring what they do on the other downs and distance because they're trying to get to like 3rd or 4th and short to like run that. So you have to like start to deviate away what you do on first, second, and third down and just go past the chains and run plays that get you past the chains. And they have to start moving away from it. They do have a variant of it where he sneaks and then he cuts outside. He failed at it like 2 weeks ago in Tampa, and then
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you if you remember that.
They failed on it in Tampa, and they executed on it this week where he bounced it outside.
Yeah, I would have liked them to hold on to that wrinkle.
They bounced outside
where he kind of goes forward and then he just like goes back. I feel like it could also work where they just like he lunges in and then he goes back and it's like a dump off pass or something like that. That could be a cool wrinkle. That might work. Somebody just splits out and he like dunks in and pulls back and then just dunks it to the side.
Dunks to the top, but they don't throw to Dallas Goedert at all.
I can't believe Dallas Goedert hasn't had a touchdown catch yet.
Nothing.
He's got to be due.
Nothing.
He's got to be due.
Crazy. I thought the fans were weird. I thought that everyone's restless. Everybody wants them to pick up right where they left off after the Super Bowl. I loved rubbing it in. Everyone's enacting hoity-toity because I went to 2 of the road games and I'm seasoned. But seriously, like, it's so early in the year and people are restless. People were restless. I mean, they did get down double digits in the game, but they're just so much better. Like, Washington scored a lot in the game, but you got to think that after getting blown out the week before, their first 15 plays on offense, their scripted plays are going to be really, really good. And then eventually they'll slow down and the better team will win. The fact that the fans got so hot and bothered and were blatantly fighting each other in the stands, yelling at people to sit down in front, getting like, I've had season tickets since the vet, like, sit the heck down, like, what do you, there's nothing to do with, like, anything. Fans were horrible.
Yeah.
They were horrible.
It was weird. I've never heard anybody in our section yell at somebody to sit down. And Thursday we stood the entire game. The Thursday opener, we stood the entire game.
And the Phillies got out of jail.
Oh, yeah, the double play was amazing. I don't know how much spoilers you want. You're watching it now?
I'm just keeping track on my phone.
That was amazing. Double play, shorts, dribbler to shortstop. Turner picks it up, steps on second, play to first by himself. Double play.
So that game is weird. And then everyone was judging Sam Howell on the week before when they only scored 3 points, but they failed to realize that in the Eagles game plus the first 2 weeks of the season, he was great. He had one bad game against the Bills, and the Bills held the Dolphins, who scored 70 points, to 20. So the Bills' defense is legit. So you could argue Sam Howell's good. Sam Howell's is better than Danny Dimes. The Giants are the worst organization in all of sports. They're almost worse than the Jets. The Jets are just unlucky. The Jets have a good team with no quarterback and are unlucky. The Giants are the worst organization in sports, especially in major markets. Giants
How
are
about New York
awful.
sports as a whole?
They
I mean,
stink.
The Rangers aren't very good. The Islanders aren't very good. In hockey, the Mets and the Yankees didn't make the playoffs this year. The Giants and the Jets are terrible. I mean, New York sports, man, it's just rough. I mean, it's great. I'm totally enjoying it, but it's just shocking that like our rivalry with New York is just kind of like meh.
It's good for us if you're conspiracy theorists and think they want to keep like the Northeast and keep the ratings in for especially for the Phillies' sake. I mean, you have Arizona, Milwaukee, Texas, Minnesota.
I know. Look at it.
It's
That's what I was doing in the
the only
beginning of
other
the pod.
major market you got is LA.
Did you see the Minnesota Twins? It was $7 for a ticket, and they had like maybe 12, 15,000 people in the stadium. It wasn't even filled.
It's
Tampa
like
Bay today didn't have their stadium filled. Look at Red October. These guys are going nuts right now. Nobody sat down the whole game.
it's $400 to go to a wild card game. It's like
Oh my gosh, it's insane.
250 plus fees
275 for bleeds. Yep,
plus
yep,
fees.
275 for bleeds this morning when I got up.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
But
My all the in-laws are there, the whole family.
they got him.
Yep. They got the he's got
Season
seasons,
tickets.
so he gets access. He gets access, and I think they have a plug, but
I have tomorrow, but they're not gonna happen. So reimburse. And then I got NLDS game one. So we'll be at NLDS game one. That'll be
oh, nice,
Tuesday.
nice.
Nothing this
It'll be right.
weekend. There's no baseball during Sunday during the Eagles game. So they're going to be back home Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday again next week.
It'll be perfectly ripe for a letdown game. I told you this last night in text message.
No, they've won the
It's
first game of
sickened.
every series. That's why we're going to
I'm
game one.
kidding. I text you. I am every time I think of it sickened that last year the only playoff game I went to was the World Series no hitter. I mean, with our dad, could have been memory forever. It still was. We had a great time. But the girl, the drunk 16-year-old girl that the dad was letting the girl drink, and she dropped the pizza all over the ground, and then dropped the chicken fingers on the Astro fan, and dropped the cheese, and the no hitter, and it was crazy.
No, they won.
And we left the lottery.
They won game one in Houston. They won the first home game, game three. And
no, about the game we went to. The game
no, I
you
know,
went to a couple good
but
ones.
it spiraled right after us. We lost game four no hitter, and then five they could have easily won game five, and they didn't. Like all they had to do was win one of those other home games. They would have been in good shape, and they lost games 4 and 5. And game two they had Wheeler. It was really a missed opportunity. And it's gonna be even harder to get back. You got to go through the Braves and go through LA, but we shall see.
B Pizzle says hot dog man. What's hot dog man?
Probably me. I have a hot
Why
dog
are you
costume.
hot dog man? Oh yeah. Speaking of that, without your permission, I entered us in the Dressed Like Philly Sports Guy contest for last year for Halloween when you were hot dog and I was Philly Sports Guy.
I'll wear the hot dog suit on Tuesday to go up. I called that guy Luis Ariz or whatever for the Marlins that has the gimpy leg, who's like playing on one leg. I called him Little Mo with the gimpy leg.
Yeah, and his parents abandoned him and are gonna wait for him to play next year. So how's that working out for you? How you doing? Memes of the week. So we had some controversy. For the record, anybody that's listening right now, our page is 99.9% satire. So you can't ever hold anything we say or do against us in the court of law. It's all just in fun and joke, including the Denzel Washington meme that was cracking me up this morning.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was a good one.
Um, I'm trying to think. Meme of the week. Meme of the week. I don't know. I'm scrolling right now. Philly Monk was amazing by you.
That was a original. Made that crop that thing together.
That was
I
good.
was feeling it last night. Really have many memes. You had a lot of what you call it got mad views. That weird mom dancing.
Yeah, weird mob dancing created all types of controversy. The wow in that was me saying, "Wow, this lady's dancing and completely neglecting her children." I'm not wowed by her dancing skills. She was a fine looking lady, but my wow was more more
Danny
about the
Danny Dimes trying to do the sneak got 14,000 views. Him failing on the sneak. Jake Elliott's watching the
mm,
field goal. Jake Elliott's wife has 25,000 views right now. That's his wife too, by the way. It is his wife, confirmed.
okay, confirmed, got it. They solved Tupac's murder before the Dallas Cowboys made another NFC Championship game. Pretty solid Facebook.
That one's lit. Yeah, it's gotta probably go to one of the static ones on Facebook. The videos are just unpredictable.
Return to Philly Rob did pretty good. Moreland Tuesday and some of the where there's original stuff that's up there pretty good.
Yeah.
And the Kelsey stuff continues to roll. Donna Kelsey with Jake from State Farm did really good.
Yeah, I don't know why everyone loves this Kelsey Swift thing, but
Can't stand it. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you where the conspiracy is with that. You got 10 million new fans. That's what they said. The viewership, Taylor Swift's fan base, 10 million strong tuning in. Kelsey jersey, Travis Kelsey jerseys were up 400% in sales.
they're doing a lot
And
to
you could,
get people into the game. They have that new like simulated thing on Nickelodeon.
mm-hmm.
They're trying to get the kids playing football. Their parents don't want them playing football. They need the next generation. They need the Swifties. They
They
need
have
to
to
make it.
focus on flag.
They need to make it reality TV. They do have the Play
They,
60 that traveled. They came to our town. That was pretty cool.
oh, Nola just plunked somebody. Start at the top of the sixth.
Classic.
Uh,
Classic.
um,
Are you scared of the
yes.
LA Rams? I am.
Uh,
I'm always
so
scared.
I have. Are we going to predictions? Yeah, because I guess we got to wrap up eventually. I've gone first on predictions. So I'll continue the streak. I'm gonna go first on predictions. I have the Eagles as losing this week. I know it's gonna be a very unpopular decision, but I have reasoning and rationale behind it. Um, I think that Matt Stafford's playing very well. Is low key playing very well. They have those two annoying Atwell and Puka Nakua guys, and then Cooper Cup could sprinkle in this week. I think that's a lot for the corners to handle. Um, I think it's a long travel off of an extremely emotional game. That Washington game was really tough. It was physical. It was a long game. Now they got to travel all the way out there. And I can't see the Eagles as being undefeated going into Kelly Green. I definitely don't think they're going to lose to the Jets. So that has led me to picking the Eagles to lose this week. 26, what could be ugly? Like 26-17, something like that.
They get stymied.
I got
Yeah,
the Eagles. I got the Eagles stymied.
Fletcher Cox might be out. They did sign
Yeah, that's the other one. Injuries. You got not Landon Dickerson. Jack
Jurgens.
Driscoll's hurt.
Jurgens.
Jurgens, and then concussion protocol for the kick returner Covey.
I think
I feel bad. I love our West Coast people, but
Sua Opeta is fine at guard. They signed Bradley Roby. I think you're gonna get Sidney Brown and some of your safeties back that could also play nickel. I think Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis starting is fine over Fletcher Cox. I think that the motions we played the Rams a few years ago in Philly, and they were running all kinds of crazy motions, and we couldn't keep up with it. With Puka and if Cooper Cup, whoever plays at slot position, they're gonna chunk a lot of yards and stuff like that. But I gotta think their defense gave up 30 some points to the Washington last week. They gotta bounce back a little bit. And I gotta think it's gonna be Eagles home game. It's gonna be insane out there. It is one of the bigger travel
Agree,
trips.
100%.
I think it could be Eagles home game. I think the Eagles keep winning.
It is gonna be an Eagles home game. Take them to win. It's not a bad. It's not
I think they'll
inconceivable.
win.
I
I think
mean,
they'll win. I think they'll play actually better than they played against Washington. I thought maybe they overlooked them and they came out sluggish. They've Nick Sirianni said it. They've won every game like every which way. They like ran the ball a lot. They passed a lot last week. The defense won them a game. They had a rain weather game. They basically won like every type of game that there is scenario, an overtime game, low scoring, high scoring. They've basically been in every situation now. Their preseason is over. They have to put it all together. Their preseason is over. But that's good.
B Pizzle disagrees with me. He says nope. He thinks the Eagles win. Phil has the Eagles as a win. I mean, listen, like we can't just pick. We're huge fans. It's not like I'm not going to be rooting for them to win. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I just you can't pick the team to win every single week. I just see it. This is the one I see as a loss. I don't see the Jets as a loss. I see this as more of a possibility. The Rams are a more talented team. The Jets don't have much. Although I don't think the Jets are an 0-16 team either. So we're 0-17. So one of the next 2 weeks, I think the Eagles lose.
Yeah. I think a lot of Eagles fans are going to be up at that New York game in a couple weeks, but
we have an invite to that game, by the way. Well, we could talk about that off air, but we have a whole invite with tailgate and the whole thing. just to be the devil on your shoulder.
That'd be good. And the next home tailgate is the Kelly Green game.
They ain't losing Kelly Green. They ain't losing to Miami.
We will
Green.
have
Sunday Night Football.
We are going to have 4 passes, compliments of Vince to give away for the Kelly Green game. 4
dang.
all you can eat, all you can drink passes he's sending our way that we're gonna give away to everybody.
Nice.
Which is lit. And Tim
are we gonna
Smith
do
is giving away hella art. So anyone that signs up for his newsletter, he's getting us each one, and then he's gonna pick a bunch of people that sign up for his newsletter. He's gonna pick them too.
And also, if you're local to the South Jersey area around Ocean City, I want to shout Tim Smith out. He's an educator down here. He's a fantastic educator, and he does private art lessons. I am signing my son up for private art lessons with him just to round my son out. My son's a big sports guy. And I was actually talking to my students about this today. I grew up just all sports, and I never really got into like instrument. I never really got into art. And I always felt like a little unrounded out. Like in that regard, I've always like been uncomfortable in the arts, whereas you were into music. So you're like way more well-rounded than me. So we're going to try art lessons with my son. I think it might be really good for him for his focus. The ADD generation of kids that we have now. So he does that too. Besides his awesome Philly art, he does private art lessons. I wanted to give him a plug for that.
Yeah, art's big and music, using both sides of the brain. And
Fizzle is shocked that we're from South Jersey. The Philthy in Philly, that's a play on words. We're always in Philly at games.
We're not actually from Philly. That's why I was getting in trouble, because we have more people that post that just me. People think it's like Aunt Mary Pat or something, like it's Philthy from Philly, and it's like me drinking every day and stuff. Any bosses out there? Although I don't help.
Pizzles,
but if it's game day, we get a little lit. But during working hours, I'm working.
I don't talk about where I work physically, B Pizzle, but I am near you. my full time.
Media gamers hardcore. So, looks like the Phillies are going to advance. Eagles undefeated. Oh, last thing before we leave. Is it better?
I don't work in Ocean City. We live in Ocean City.
Is it better
So,
for the Niners to lose or the Cowboys to lose this week?
oh, this is toughy. It's 100% better for the 49ers to lose because we control 2 games against Dallas, whereas we only control 1 game against the 49ers. So let Dallas take them out, and then we can beat Dallas twice. And we will also beat the Red Cowboys. And then we can control it that way.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
my thought on that. What do you say? I'm not rooting for the Dallas.
Actually,
I'll
the
sit there and watch
best
the
the
game.
best scenario is a tie,
Yeah, well,
but I am rooting for my boy Dak.
you're disgusting. I'm actually gonna crop that out.
I'm rooting for my boy Dak. Yeah,
Whenever
dude,
I do my predictions,
I need the Winers to lose, man. And then that game's not
I need
important. We just need to beat Dallas, like, and control our division. And
whenever I
we need the Niners to lose a couple games, and their schedule is soft. One of the only teams that could beat them is probably us or the Cowboys.
they're us last year.
If the Cowboys don't beat them, then we have to. It makes that game a must win. If the Cowboys beat them this
Yeah,
week, that game against the Red Cowboys is not a must win. So for
right.
that reason, go back.
That's disgusting. Pizzle says he has this splitting with Dallas. When I do my Eagles predictions, I always put 3 losses automatically for the NFC East. I always predict, like in my win-loss total, that the Eagles will split with all the division teams because that's historically what they do.
They
They don't
beat the
historically
Giants
win all
twice,
divisions.
but they could take a powder to the Cowboys
Yeah, but then
twice.
they'll
So
lose 1 or they'll lose 2. They'll lose 2 sometimes. They always end up splitting.
split skis.
But I will never pick the Eagles to lose ever playing against Dallas, just for the same reason I've never in my life had a Dallas Cowboy on my fantasy team.
Sponsored this, so Tim Smith art. We're gonna give away next week or the week after for the next home tailgate 4 passes to the Philly Sports Trips tailgate sponsored by them. And whatever you do, don't go and eat dinner at Super Frico in Atlantic City and Caesars. It is absolute dog trash.
Links to all the cool stuff we have going on can be found in our Instagram bio. I'm wearing my homage tee.
You can get a link.
These are the best.
You
Man.
can get a
Love
link
these
to
shirts.
anything you could possibly need. Eagles tailgates, Eagles clothing. You could get pretty much deals on everything through us. Besides, the only thing you can't do is make a reservation at Super Freako because that place sucks.
And if you do any stuff through our links and you get stuff, please message us. We will repay you in the form of inviting you to our tailgate. We have an invite only tailgate. We don't really discuss where it is, but it's a private thing. But become friends with us. We're approachable, very small group, and
a
go
lot of
Birds.
people did stop me.
Go
So
Phil.
next is going to be links to the overalls. A lot of people did stop for the overalls and knew us from that.
The overalls at the Phillies are a dime a dozen. You were the only overalls guy at the Eagles, but man, every other guy's got the OVs.
If you order the
For
Phillies ones now, they don't come till like the 19th. So you better hope they make the World Series if you order those now.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, we out. See you next week.
Adios.